I caught my girlfriend cheating on me and she said, "It's all your fault." We'd been together for 18 months. I'd given her everything. Moved across the city so she could be closer to her job. Turned down a promotion because it would mean working late and missing our date nights. I even adopted a cat I was allergic to because she said it would help with her anxiety. That Tuesday afternoon, I came home early with flowers. It was our anniversary. I'd planned this whole surprise. Reservations at the restaurant where we had our first date. Tickets to see her favorite band. I was going to propose that night. The ring had cost me 4 months' salary. I heard the sounds before I reached the bedroom. At first, my brain couldn't process what was happening. When I opened the door, she was with Brendan, my best friend since elementary school. The guy who'd introduced us at his birthday party. The one who'd helped me pick out the engagement ring just last week. They didn't even stop. She just looked at me with this expression. Not guilt, not shame, annoyance. Like I'd interrupted something important. Brendan at least had the decency to grab a sheet. But she just sat there, completely calm, and said those words that would replay in my head for months. "It's all your fault." I stood frozen in the doorway, flowers still in my hand. "My fault?" I managed to choke out. "Explain how this is my fault." She sighed, like I was being deliberately obtuse. "You're never here emotionally. You're so focused on being the perfect boyfriend that you forgot to actually be a person." Brendan listens to me. He sees me. The irony wasn't lost on me. I'd restructured my entire life around her needs. Canceled plans with my family because she wanted me home. Stopped playing basketball on Saturdays because she felt lonely. Given up my favorite foods because she'd gone vegan and cooking separate meals felt inconsiderate. But apparently, I was the absent one. Brendan finally spoke. "Look, man, we didn't plan this. It just happened." As if that made it better. As if 11 years of friendship could evaporate because something just happened. I remembered how he'd been at my dad's funeral. How he'd driven 6 hours when my mom was in the hospital. How we'd promised we'd be each other's best men someday. I left without a word. Drove to my brother's apartment and slept on his couch for 2 weeks. My phone exploded with messages. She wanted her stuff. She needed me to understand. She hoped we could still be friends because this was hard for her too. Brendan texted saying he valued our friendship and hoped I could forgive him eventually. The thing about betrayal is how it rewrites your history. Every memory became suspect. Every late night she claimed to be working. Every time Brendan had coincidentally shown up when she was around. The camping trip where they'd shared a tent because hers had a broken zipper. How she'd started wearing perfume I'd never bought her. My brother helped me move my things out while she was at work. I left her stuff in boxes by the door. The cat too. I'd been taking allergy pills for 11 months for an animal that was never really mine anyway. I kept the engagement ring. Sold it for half what I'd paid. Used the money to rent a studio apartment across town. What broke me wasn't losing her. It was realizing I'd lost myself trying to keep her. I'd become so focused on being what she needed that I'd forgotten who I was. My friends barely recognized me anymore. I hadn't played music in over a year. I'd stopped going to my nephew's games because they conflicted with her yoga schedule. Last month, I ran into them at a coffee shop. She had her hand on his arm, laughing at something he'd said. When she saw me, her face flickered with something. Maybe guilt, maybe pity. She started to approach, but I just shook my head and walked out. My brother asked if I was okay. I told him the truth. I wasn't okay, but I was better than I'd been when I was busy being perfect for someone who was busy being unfaithful. Sometimes the worst betrayal isn't what they do to you. It's what you do to yourself trying to make them stay.